I'm starting today's look with Illamasqua's Hydro Veil Primer, just applying this all over the skin to get the skin hydrated and just keep everything looking really nice and fresh. And for the same reason, the under eyes, I'm using Smashbox Hydrating Under Eye Primer, which is an amazing product to prevent creasing and just keep everything hydrated and again looking flawless throughout the day. I'm going to add a third primer to this routine, which is Smashbox's Iconic Primer Stick. This one is because I'm quite oily on my nose and I want that 12 hours oil and shine control, blending that out with the fingertips just to make sure that it's really nice and even. And then I'm using Illamasqua's Skin Base Foundation, and I'm applying this with the Zoeva stippling brush. This brush and this foundation are just a match made in heaven. Everything goes on really, really nice and flawless. And Skin Base is probably one of my best foundations. I really love it. So I'm then going to just blend that out with the brush and also with my fingertips just to make sure that everything looks nice and even with no brush marks. After that, we're going to be using the Revolution Conceal and Define. This is a fairly recent addition. I'm just dotting this under my eyes and then using the MAC 130 brush to blend that out and bring it out onto the cheekbones, just to kind of mildly highlight. I think this is the shade C2. This is a Smashbox Halo Hydrating Perfecting Powder. I'm using just a big fluffy powder brush from Lancôme to apply this, and this just gets the base looking really nice and set, flawless, blurred and mattified. And then I'm just using a little bit extra on my nose area because I am extra oily in that area. I just want to make sure that's perfect, and then just blending out the under eyes with a Q-tip to make sure there's no creasing. Set that with primer water, of course, my bay, and then I'm going to go in with my eyebrows. So I'm using Smashbox liquid lipstick in Teal with it, and I did this off camera, so it's going to be done right about now. So that's all finished. Next, I'm using this Smashbox 24-hour shadow primer. I love this product so much. Just apply a little bit, tiny amounts, blend it between your fingertips before you apply it. And then what you want to do with this is you just kind of pat it onto the eyes until it goes tacky. This is a must-have product for any eye look. This is my custom MAC Warms palette. I think the shade I'm applying with the base shade here is Brulee. It's just any old matte base shade will be fine as long as you've just got your primer set. And now I'm using MAC eyeshadow in Chrome Yellow, and I'm going in with the Illamasqua blending brush. What I'm doing here is applying it to like my inner brow corner on one side, just blending that out across the brow bone, and then doing it on the opposite side of the eye as a drop shadow, and just slowly just using that same brush to softly kind of wing that out. It doesn't need to be too precise at all. We're just placing some kind of haze of shadow. On the other eye, I'm doing the opposite way around, so I'm doing the arch of the brow on the one side and then the inner corner on the other side. So if you look at them side by side, the shadow's in the same place in the opposite corners of the eyes. This is the Inglot AMC Gel Liner, number 84. I'm using the MAC Shader brush, I think that is what that brush is, to just kind of like intensify the yellow in the areas where I've put it. So just kind of coming close into the lash, close under the brow, the same on the opposite side, really nice and tight to the inner corner, and a little bit more under the brow. And then once I've done that, I'm going to take that same brush, dip back into Chrome Yellow, and we're just going to use that to really diffuse that and blend it out. So I'm just using that brush to kind of get that soft but precise blended effect. And we're going to be doing that in all of those areas. So now that I've done all of the yellow base, I'm taking my pinky and I'm just going to stipple and kind of blend out just to get an extra layer of dimension of this yellow shadow, because obviously we want the splattered look. I'm going to be adding another colour on top of this, but I just want to kind of add a little bit more depth to it by just adding a more yellow haze just in those certain areas. And this is again Smashbox Always On Liquid Lipstick. The shade is called Bang Bang, and I'm applying that with the Smashbox Multitasking Detail brush, which is amazing. Such a good brush for precise work like this. And what I'm doing is I'm stippling this onto the inner corner, so the red is going onto the first eye where the yellow went on the other eye. Then I'm just bringing that across the lash line on the upper lid and kind of winging that out, but just using a stippling effect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do kind of more diffused dots just out around that area, and then of course around the inner eye as well, just really kind of splattering that out. And then we're also going to do the same kind of effect on the other eye, but again we're going to be kind of doing almost opposite. So we're doing the lower lash line around the outer corner on this eye, so the opposite place to where we put the yellow, just dotting that out, and I'm also going to be bringing that around onto the top lid, and then also where we place the yellow on the under the other eyebrow, I'm going to be putting the red on this eyebrow, just stippling it under the brow. I'm also going to bring it very slightly over the brow as well, so it kind of looks like it's coming through, and again it just adds a little bit more dimension and depth to the look. That brush I'm then going to use to fill in my lips. It's not necessarily a lip brush, but it can be used for that reason. The reason I'm using it this particular look is A, I've already used it with that liquid lipstick, but I'm also going to be smudging the lips out, so I don't need it to be too precise, so it's okay that the brush is a little bit softer. So I'm just filling the lips out, kind of just smudging around the edges, just using the point of that brush to just get it a little bit softer and just make sure that it's balanced, and then I'm going to actually pull that out on the lower lip on one side, just smudging out, and then on the upper lip on the other side, just bringing it out a little bit. I'm then going to be using the Smashbox Arch Liner brush and the Inglot Liner again, and I'm stippling the same way that I did the red on the eyes. So we're literally just doing exactly the same effect, stippling on opposite corners. So we're doing on the bit where we smudged out the lip on the lower lip, applying the yellow over that, and then just doing diffused dots around that, and then the same here on the upper lip as well, just stippling it in around the lip line down into the area where I've smudged, and just kind of diffusing that out by kind of like spacing those dots a little bit. So it's actually quite like a freehand technique. It's not all that precise, it just is very easy and very effective, and obviously it's quite an avant-garde look as well. So that's the eyes and the lips done. We're now going to just finish off with some cheek work. This is Illamasqua's Gel Sculpt in the colour Silhouette. This is great if you already have defined cheekbones like I do. My cheekbones are quite prominent because the colour is perfect, it's just not too much. I'm then going to blend that out with the blurring foundation brush from Smashbox. This is actually the smaller version that was sold in the 2017 holiday brush set, but I love how it kind of really diffuses cream products. So it's perfect for this particular product. And then I'm just going back over with the tiniest amount of powder just to really blend that in. And I'm going to finish off with some Illamasqua Beyond powder. This is the colour Days, I believe. And I'm just applying that with a fan brush to the tops of the cheekbones and slightly into the centre of the forehead. And then that is the finished look. So yeah, I hope you like this. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. Please do like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much.